Well, hello. Happy Friday. This is Joan Pelzer, and you are listening live to 21st Century Entrepreneur Radio on Talking Alternative Broadcasting. And today is going to be very unique. Not only is it the first new show of the year, 2017, it's the first Friday of the year, but I am by myself. Well, other than Sam.
Not completely.
Not completely. But I am by myself because my colleague, the amazing JC Maldonado, who started this show 2 years ago, is actually taking a bit of a hiatus right now. We want to say, first of all, kudos and congratulations to him because JC just had a baby yesterday. Ooh. I can't wait to find out more about that when we talk to him. So as you can imagine, he's a little bit busy right now. And in his work life, which, you know, we're all entrepreneurs. Well, sometimes he thinks we're business owners instead of entrepreneurs, but we are entrepreneurs. He is in the process of expanding a company, and so he's going to have to take the reins for a little bit in that company, and their meetings happen to be Fridays. Yeah, in that company. And I'm taking the reins here.
You're taking the reins here.
I'm taking the reins here. Now, we do not know what that's going to mean because now I don't have JC to make fun of and can't push him around. And so...
And you don't have him to make fun of you either.
Exactly. And it may be a little boring. I hope not. I hope you're all going to continue to listen to me.
I don't know. I think we're going to have to hear from Gary Cohen on this one.
I think we are. So I'm going to immediately give a shout out to Gary Cohen because he is our biggest fan and our most ardent listener. He listens every Friday afternoon at 6 p.m. on his train ride home to Westchester, which actually is a shorter train ride because he just recently moved. He used to be up in like the Katona area. And now he's moved down a little bit further, so he's cut his commute in half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hope he still has enough time.
So
to listen
I'm
to
sure
the show.
he makes enough time to listen to us. I bet even if we're not finished, he continues to listen until he finishes. So I hope you're enjoying your scotch this afternoon, Mr. Gary Cohen. It's noon here in New York for us, but it's going to be 6 p.m. for him.
Right.
So I should introduce this voice.
That he knows a former host on the network.
He knows Betty Cohen.
Betsy
Cohen. Yeah. Which is not related to him at all, even though the name is the same in the last name. We just had dinner last night. We had our B&I dinner, and he was telling me about Betsy Cohen. I said, I know Betsy Cohen. How do you know Betsy Cohen? And he knows her for quite a long time.
Oh, really?
And he said, yeah, I think she used to do a radio show. I'm like, I'm actually positive that she used to do a radio show if it's the same Betsy Cohen. So immediately I texted the voice that I'm going to introduce in a minute, who's been like kind of secret voice next to me. Shh, don't tell who he is. But I will introduce him in a minute. But so you happen to know her voice that has been unintroduced at the moment.
And yes, she used to do a show called The Power of Intuition. She was on the network for at least a year, I think. And you can actually still go to the website, and if you look for a cute little round face, and it says The Power of Intuition, and we still got the last 10 episodes of her show on the network.
Cool.
So you can listen to her. She's very cute and fun. Did sort of a psychic call-in type show.
That's what I understand. She
was a real.
I didn't actually listen to it because it was before me.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
PJ. Pre-Joan.
Pre-21.
Pre-21. So I should introduce the voice that just spoke because I kind of introduced him and I kind of talk about you every week. But this week I really wanted to have him be on while he's doing his duties for us here. So this is Sam Leibowitz, and Sam Leibowitz owns and runs Talking Alternative Broadcasting, and we are located at Double Diamond Wellness Center on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. We are sitting in a studio, so it's kind of cool because it really is a radio studio, radio station.
But it's a very comfortable one.
It is. It is because it's a wellness center with like crystals all over and things. So I feel very peaceful when I'm here and relaxed. Even when JC was with me and I had to like poke him and prod him and he would annoy me actually. Yeah. He would annoy me. But I'm missing him today, I must say. I'll have to make sure he listens.
And make fun of you for being late or something. But
I wasn't even late. There was a parade. There is a parade. Actually, we have to look that up. We have to find out what parade is happening. I know.
I think you should have your intern look it up.
I'm going to. So why don't I have my intern introduce herself too? But wait, I didn't formally and further introduce you. So I want you are my guest, my co-host and my engineer producer today. So why don't you give the audience a couple of like the Cliff Notes. Am I allowed to say Cliff Notes? Do we have to pay them to say that word?
You can say
Hashtag Cliff Notes. Why don't you give the Cliff
Notes? What's the other one besides Cliff Notes?
I don't remember.
There was another one that used to do
I never used those. I was very
smart. The red books. The Cliff Notes were the yellow books. They were red books too. I forget.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about those. Yeah. Oh, maybe I should have. I wrote the Cliff Notes. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So why don't you introduce yourself? I'm pointing, but nobody can see me because I haven't started Facebook Live yet. I intend to do it, but I can't multitask all that much today without a second person.
You can't multitask. Look at me. I'm doing
I know you really are.
Work. I'm co-hosting.
So introduce yourself. Tell the audience, and we'll find out in a few minutes from you when you change hats where audience is listening in from. But in the meantime, tell them who you are.
I'm Sam Leibowitz. Well, you just introduced me.
I kind of did, but I want a little bit more of a background on you.
What else do you want to know?
I want a little bit more.
Like what?
Give me some information. What makes Sam Leibowitz tick?
What makes me tick?
Yeah. Or tick off.
My heart, I hope.
That's interesting because I'm going to switch because I have ADD, so I go in every direction anyway.
Yeah,
so I'm in the cab on the way here, and the gentleman has a heart issue, and he almost had a heart attack and had to change his diet. The cab driver. I should have been late because I should have stayed in the cab, called in like I would do in a normal situation, like I did a couple of weeks ago, and I should have interviewed him in the cab. I may do that next time. I think next time I'm going to do it completely from a cab. Going to be a very expensive cab ride, but I think I will.
Nah, let's. We'll see.
We'll see. It's my show now. If JC doesn't show up, I'm going to do whatever the heck I want.
That's right. That's the privilege of having your own radio show.
I may kick him out completely.
You hear that, JC? It's
JC,
anarchy.
You better think about this because I may kick you out completely and take over.
Yeah.
Pause. Let's see if he calls in. All right, Sam. So give us a couple of sentences about your background. Because you have a very interesting, you have a technical background, you have a holistic background, you have a very interesting background.
And I'm an entrepreneur.
And you're an entrepreneur, so it's very fitting. I'd never formally had you on the show. You've been in and out. We've thrown you in a couple of times, but you've never really been interviewed. So I'd love to talk with you about this today.
Well, not on this.
So that's what today's focus is. I should probably, I didn't even give my whole tagline. Like, see, this messes me up because JC has his part and I have my part, and I'm not used to having to do his part. But it's exciting because now I don't have to if I don't feel like it. Right. But no, I will. So what is 21st Century Entrepreneur? It is, we give you information, knowledge, wisdom, and fun. I don't know if I got all of those correct because I never say the first half. I just say the fun.
Right.
And I tease him and then I poke him. But what the goal of our, exactly. But the goal of this radio show and the reason I joined JC on August 21st, 2015 was because it was 21st Century Entrepreneur Radio. We're in the 21st century, and I am a relatively new entrepreneur. I'm 3 years and a little change in. He's a very seasoned and yet younger entrepreneur, and he's bought and sold companies. But the idea was to be a resource and not like a news media resource, Bloomberg or something like that. It was to be an interesting resource where we bring folks in and we talk about the business of being an entrepreneur. Right. And there's many facets to the business of being an entrepreneur. There's the technical side, which half of it I don't like knowing, working with a CFO or working with your CPA, which he's not going to kill me this year. My cousin is my CPA. Shout out to Francis Valerio, because we got together in December. That has never happened.
Congratulations.
Not even with personal taxes has that ever happened.
Right.
And I have a new bookkeeper it's his bookkeeper who we met already, and she's already reconciled all my books. Like, I'm pretty much ready to go. I'm like ready to go. I'm like, it's kind of scary. I'm like, oh, this is a little too much. I'm not used to not being stressed. So now what am I going to do? Now I'm going to do a show by myself.
Right. See, I have different things to stress about.
Right, exactly. So, but we've had things like that, like the technical side, getting a loan, an accountant, a PEA, healthcare, blah, blah, blah. Then we've had the marketing side. We've had website. We've had social media. We've had PR in different capacities. We've had all sorts of things. Right. Then we've talked to in the trenches, various entrepreneurs,
Right.
franchise entrepreneurs like Gail and Terry, who both own franchises.
Right.
And then we've talked to a lot of my clients who are entrepreneurs in many facets, and they do a lot of different things. And look, and he's checking his text messages. Sitting next to me while I'm talking to you. You're not paying attention to me. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing you.
I'm an engineer. You're not supposed to reveal my secrets.
I know, I'm revealing his secrets. So we've done a lot of things. And so we don't want to change anything while we have JC on hiatus, because if we did and he comes back, he'll be like, what did you do to my show?
Yeah, that's okay.
But what we will do is I want to interview a lot more entrepreneurs and find out how they make their business work for them, particularly.
Right.
And you're the first one I wanted to interview in the new year because I'm doing my show with you. You are a seasoned entrepreneur in many capacities. This is not your only business.
Nope.
And I want to find out, and we've just been meeting because we are trying to expand the business. And I want to find out what drives you, how we can help you here in Talking Alternative Broadcasting. And I'm going to be interviewing every single one of our hosts. We just talked to one prior to me coming on, and he's going to be a guest.
One of our new hosts.
Yeah, and he's going to be a guest. And I'm going to throw in a few other people here and there. Like, for example, I have an intern that just started with me yesterday. Thank God for her father, who's also in my networking group, Mark Chapman. Shout out to you. He is like the bulldog of the real estate litigation world. And he graciously offered his daughter wanted an internship for like a week or so before heading back to college. So she is here today. So this is Carly. So just grab the mic really quick, close up, Carly, and say hi to everyone, especially Gary Cohen.
Hi.
You got to jump right up on in. There we
Hi.
go. She is a TV and film major up at Boston University. So we're going to expand her. So we're going to go to break in about a minute. So before we go to break in the minute, Sam is back. I've gone in every direction during this first quarter.
Before we go on break, I just want to make a quick announcement.
Yes.
Something that we need, and we're actually kind of announcing on all the shows on the network, is for all of our listeners, whether you're listening live or you're listening to the podcast, whether you've downloaded it or you're listening to it on the rerun, we're in the process of doing some technical updates on the back end, and it would be really super helpful for us to know how you are listening to us. And if you email us with your location, like where you are in the world, and how you are listening to us. Are you listening to us directly on our own website, on a phone app? Which phone app? If you're listening to us through another website that you saw our station listed on, let us know which website that is. You will receive a free PDF.
Yes, we're going to give you a present.
Yes, so it'll be an interesting PDF, guaranteed.
So give them the email address that they have to send to.
So email me at info, I-N-F-O, at talkradio.nyc.
Perfect. And if you want to call us today, right before the break, we'll give you this. It's 877-480-4120. And you can call in and say hello to me, not JC, because he's not here. So we are going to go to break. And when we're back, more with Sam Leibowitz. Back after this.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Hello, I'm JC.
I'm Joan. And welcome to 21st Century Entrepreneur.
We bring education,
insight,
knowledge,
awareness,
trouble,
craziness, and fun
for you, the entrepreneur who's looking to build your business
and your community. Listen every Friday from noon to 1 Eastern on talkradio.nyc. And you can tweet us at 21st CE Radio or Talk Alternative.
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
And we're back.
Yes,
Happy
we are.
Friday.
Happy Friday.
And Sam just said, I don't let anyone else talk. Is that true? If you
No.
think it's true, call us and tell me. 877-480-4120.
So wait a minute. I'm co-hosting, I'm engineering, and you want me to answer phones too?
Yes.
Oh, you're demanding.
How many hands do you have? We need an intern. And actually,
we just got an intern.
Yes, I met her the other day.
Cody.
And
A
if
big
there's
shout out
another
to Cody
person
for
that
joining
wants
us.
to come and intern, we can put it out there on the radio right now. If you would like to come and intern for an amazing radio station, you need to call us or email info@talkradio.nyc, which we're using more now than Talking Alternative Broadcasting. We're going to use talkradio.nyc.
We actually, I have some cool ideas I'll tell you about later.
Excellent.
I talked over with
So
Adam last night.
awesome. So, and Adam, who you just mentioned, Adam, he's someone that we're going to have call in as well. So Adam is going to have a new show, and
Wait,
he's
you gotta
also,
save the good stuff till he gets
I'm going to
online.
tell the other part later. He's also ... Now you
Right.
have to wait.
Yeah.
So back to you, Sam. So continue from before and tell us a little bit about your background and why you're doing what you're doing.
So what you may or may not have ever heard me say before is I've been an entrepreneur actually since 1993.
Wow. Yeah, I have
And-
heard you say something like that. I didn't remember the date, though.
Yeah. So I started off my career in banking and financial services and the technology end of things. But, I kind of got tired of, coming in early, working hard all day long, and I felt like my paycheck did not reflect the difference between the effort I put into my job and the guy in the cubicle next to me.
A lot of people taking money out of that check.
Yeah. So after bouncing around a little bit for a number of years, I finally decided to become a computer consultant at the time, back in the early 90s. Had a friend of mine who... He was a consultant himself and had been a consultant for a number of years. So I partnered up with him, worked kind of part-time with him for about a year, and then kind of went full-time. He had a company called Software Sculptors, and we worked on that together. And we eventually, from computer stuff, got into doing CD-ROMs and multimedia and then Japanese animation videos. And then I got into sort of the video business with him. We licensed Japanese animation and action movies.
You need to be on Secrets of the Sire.
Yeah. I've told Michael Dolce about it. He knows Media
Michael
Blasters.
Dolce needs to know
He
you.
knows. He knows. He when he
Look
introduces
at
me to
me
guys.
cross-connecting.
Yeah. So yeah, I know a lot about that. Though it's been many years now since me and my ex-partner and that company just parted ways, and then I
Amicably, I hope.
Yes,
Okay.
amicably, absolutely. He bought me out for my share of the company, and he kept it going. I mean, I helped him, through the hardest part of it, which was the initial launch up to. I was there for like 3.5, 4 years. We went from 0 to over $1 million in sales when I left. Now they're probably a 10 million in sales company.
Wow. Do you still get a piece of that?
No, unfortunately not.
Bummer.
And then I went to my real passion, which was commercial space, aerospace. I started an online business in the commercial aerospace industry, which I had for about 7 years. Trying
You've had
to do
quite
something.
a varied background. Wow.
Yeah,
like you've
many
gone from one thing
industries.
to another.
Yeah, I get bored easy. What can I say? And I had that. It was like an online database for aerospace engineers back when online databases were not so common, and the web was still relatively clunky and not very slick looking. But unfortunately, the aerospace industry, I learned, was very much an old boys network and very hard to break into as a young startup company. And then the shuttle Columbia blew up, and I just knew that the industry was going to be in the toilet for a while, and I just couldn't keep it going. But it's okay. I mean, I've started several businesses and ended several businesses. I'd call it successfully, except for one, which is the one that I lost a lot of money in, which was real estate, which is what I was doing immediately before taking over Talking Alternative from the former owner and starting Double Diamond Wellness.
Okay.
And so now I've had the business for 6.5 years.
What made you take it over?
I met a guy at a party.
That's it.
That's it.
Met a guy at a party and you said, yeah, I'd like to run a radio station.
No, I met a guy.
I'd like to run a radio station.
I met a guy at a party.
Oh, and we're on Facebook Live, by the way. So look over there. Hi,
Facebook
Carly.
Live, hey.
Carly's behind the camera, but we'll turn it on her later.
Don't threaten her.
And
like that.
I'm not distracted. I'm live tweeting while we're doing this. So
so it's okay for you to be on your phone,
absolutely.
but not me.
Well, you're doing it.
Okay.
I'm learning from you. Look at that. You're doing multi,
Yeah.
like tree multi.
Yes, that's my specialty. So, no, I met a guy at a party. Mutual friend introduced us. Turned out this guy was an acupuncturist, but he had decided to become a Buddhist monk and was selling off all his worldly possessions.
That's like sounds like a movie to me.
Yeah, and I thought I would just help him to sell his business because I network a lot. And then he was telling me about his acupuncture practice. And I said, oh, yeah, and I started this internet radio station. I'm like, this sounds a little familiar. And I was like, what's your last name? And he says, Rapetti. And I'm like, I know who you are. You're Giorgio Rapetti. My friend Larry Sharp does a radio show on your network. And
I know Larry Sharp.
You know Larry Sharp. And Larry had told me about Giorgio, but he never actually connected us. And now this guy's standing right in front of us.
That's funny.
So then we got together about a week later and he went through the whole thing, about 2.5 hour meeting. And I jokingly said to him at the end of the meeting, this is such a good deal. It's like getting 2 businesses for the price of one. I said, if I can't find someone to buy your business, I'll buy it myself. And I go home that night to talk to my wife, who I love dearly, and she goes, forget helping him to sell the business. I go, really? She said, yeah, let's just buy it ourselves. She said, we may not have much money, but at least let's put what little bit we have into getting a business that's actually generating income. So then we brought in an acupuncturist to take over his clients. My wife is a psychotherapist. I do energy medicine. I had a friend who did biofeedback at the time. And then we created a general wellness center out of what was his acupuncture practice, and I took over Talking Alternative, and I really did a lot to build it up and grow it. And it's really, in the last 6.5 years, I've learned so much, and I've really transformed it from what it was, which was a station with a couple of hosts heard in 5 countries around the world, maybe a couple hundred listeners a month, to over 30,000 listens every month, and over 100 countries around the world.
That's pretty darn cool. So speaking of countries around the world, do we have any data yet about where they're calling in from?
Okay, so here's the thing now. We're in the process of migrating over from one type of a back end to another type of the back end. So while there are a lot of phone apps and a lot of websites where we get a lot of our international listeners, and they're actually not hearing us live. They're hearing the restream on the old server. The people who are live on our website, they're all in the United States right now.
Okay.
And we've got, a number of Staten Island and New York, all over New York State, New Jersey. So mostly in the Northeast. But on the old server, which is what I was checking my phone for, we've had...
which I gave you away doing.
Yeah. But on the old server, let me just pull it up again.
Well, the funny thing is that we're sitting here.
We have people on the UK and Mexico, Vietnam, Korea, but we got to migrate those people all over to the new back end so that everybody is in sync and you can hear the live shows, which is why we ask that you email us at info@talkradio.nyc.
Please do.
To let us know through what website, through what phone app you're listening to.
And we're going to put that out on social media as well, which I'm handling for the station too.
Yay.
And wave to Facebook Live audience.
Yeah,
so hopefully we're building that too.
There.
First time doing it for the radio station.
No, for 21st Century Entrepreneur.
Well, we're doing it
for my
on
show.
the radio station from the radio station's page.
But I do it on mine because I
you do it on your page or the radio station's page?
Well, you see, here's the thing. I don't know. When I try and do it on my phone, there's no way for me to do it directly on my page. I do my personal, but I do it as a check-in to Talking Alternative, and then I go live.
I have to train you.
Yeah, well, come on, social media lady. Come on, social media lady.
We need Carly to stay with us and not go back to school. She's studying broadcasting, so that's going to be great.
Oh, wonderful.
Well, the funny thing is, we talk every week on this show about being an entrepreneur, and we forget that we're actually sitting in a business that is an entrepreneur.
Well,
so your business,
I know it very intimately.
Well, you know it very intimately, but we don't recognize it all the time. We kind of take I shouldn't say we.
Yeah.
I'll talk for we. JC's not here. I can say anything I want. But I take it for granted that you are an entrepreneur, and you've mentioned it to me a number of times and said, I can help you with this or this or this. I've done this before. I know. And I forget
Right.
because I come here and I think radio station, and not everyone always thinks that a radio station is a business or
It
an
very much
entrepreneur. And you are an entrepreneur in JC's terminology. He's
Right.
always said, if you're a business owner, you've only owned one business and maybe you're a solopreneur or something. An entrepreneur is a different mindset.
Right.
An entrepreneur wants to do more. They want to not just do
Well,
one
his-
thing. They want to have their hands in other things.
Right. No, but I think the main distinction he usually makes about the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur is a business owner is happy just working in the business
Right.
and being in the business.
Right.
Whereas an entrepreneur is more somebody who works on the business, who is looking to eventually sell the business.
Or maybe not
expand
sell,
it.
but just
or
expand and maybe
it, or
buy
get
another one.
investors and look at a larger picture.
Now I really have started to feel, especially after like a meditation through the holidays, I've started to feel that I really am an entrepreneur. And I know this for two reasons. One is that I love doing the work, but I also love when someone else is doing it and I'm strategizing with them, directing them, and then checking things.
Right.
But I do love the client side. I love
Right.
being with my clients. They've all become friends. And I also love the business development. I love being out there. And part of how I figured this out was meditating. I go to the Art of Living in New York City, thanks to Shafali, who was a guest on our show. And also I've been working with another guest, and I'm going to be doing a session with her, Patrice Tanaka.
Oh,
And Patrice Tanaka, she's amazing. She's actually going to
wonderful.
speak at an upcoming conference of mine, which I'll tell you about. We'll have her on again, as well as a bunch of the women that are part of that. But the thing that I discovered is my purpose. Her company is called Joyful Purpose, and she gets you to realize what makes you happy and what do you want to do. And it's very simple. And I will tell you that after the break, so that you have to come back. So call us on 877-480-4120. And we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, more of Sam Leibowitz and Adam, who we haven't introduced yet. Back after this.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
If you have an interest in marijuana, you want to know about marijuana, law, policy, and culture, then feel free to join me, Joseph A. Bondi, every Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning on my show In the Know 420 on TalkingAlternative.com.
Legalize the herb to continue to resist the passage of this necessary legislation.
Hi, this is Rob Kay,
And I'm Callie Alpert.
and we're hosts of the Rob and Callie Show. Are you looking for a show that talks about real stuff like life, love, the pursuit of being yourself?
Then you have come to the right place, because we cover topics ranging from chivalry to gratitude to your relationship with money and everything in between.
So listen to us on the Rob and Callie Show, Tuesdays, 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on talkradio.nyc.
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
Oh, there we go. And I'm back. I must have
Loose
touched
wire.
something. Loose wire, techie difficulties. Hey, that's what you deal with as an entrepreneur, don't you?
Absolutely.
That's
all the
exactly what
time.
you deal with. So, Sam, tell us, before we have a caller who's our guest, Adam, but we're not going to bring him on for another minute because I want to ask you, and I want to tell my secret, which I totally forgot what I was telling, but I will remember in a second. It was my purpose. I know it.
Yeah.
I know what it is. But I wanted you to. So what just happened was kind of cool, and we're actually really glad that happened, because as an entrepreneur, you do everything, and you do have a lot of help here.
Yes,
but
I do. Actually,
you have,
I have
an
to tell
amazing
you,
amount of help here.
I am more thrilled and excited about the radio station now than I've ever been, because
of me.
I really well, you're part of the reason, but because I really feel now like I have a strong team supporting the efforts of the station, who are committed and invested in the success of the station, that it's not just me pushing everything. And it has been, for the most part, for 6.5 years, it has been falling all on my shoulders. And not that I didn't work with vendors or work with people like Adam to help to do stuff, but now I just feel like people are more invested in the success of the station.
Well, and it's not just people that are helping, but it's also the hosts. I mean, for all of us,
well, those are the people.
But there's other people that are involved too.
Yes,
but
yeah.
all of the hosts, we've just recently gotten together, and we really want to drive the station. Right. So it's been great, and we want to bring newbies in as well. So actually, here's a perfect segue: is say if anyone that is listening is interested in doing a show at Talking Alternative Broadcasting, talkradio.nyc, you also can email and let us know, and we'll consider you. We'll see.
Because it's not...
It has to be a certain quality of a person, too.
Right. Well, it's also, you want to keep in mind that there's a certain, when it took me a while, but after a couple of years, I really made a very distinct decision about what kind of station Talking Alternative is. And so for me, the brand of the station is to empower, uplift, inspire, and educate people. The world, basically.
Okay.
And so... we're not looking for people who are going to talk about, stuff you find in the typical mainstream media news, very fear-based stuff like Alex Jones type of stuff. We're not into that. We're not going to talk about Monday morning quarterbacking, about the sports and stuff that isn't going to make a difference. If somebody wanted to do a sports show, and I've had a couple of people I've talked to about it, it's like, well, talk about how sports can help you to be healthier. How does it, create teamwork? How does it really serve you? Not just like, what did this guy do last night in the game?
Right.
We're not interested in that kinds of stuff, because there's enough of that kind of thing in the mainstream media. We don't have to be that. And people often ask me, Talking Alternative, what are you all about? Alternative health, because they know about the wellness. And I'm like, no, it's not about alternative health. It's we're an alternative to mainstream talk radio.
I love that. I love that you just said that. That's perfect. Well, you just made me want to say what I was saying before break when I said ... you have to come back.
Yeah.
So Patrice Tanaka has helped me, and it's simple. It's 2 words. Connecting people. That's exactly what I want to do, and that's what I love to do. It's something that makes me high. It really does. I love it when I bring people together. I just did it last week. I brought my 2 clients together, and
You're a
both of them.
matchmaker.
I am a matchmaker. I have matchmaked love interests as well, but
I'm
matchmaker
sure you
doesn't
have.
only have to be love. But
That's right.
I brought together Dr. Darryl Joffrey, Get Off Your Acid, which you've tried, and I brought him together with Alex Vinay, The Molecule Project.
Right.
And so today, ironically, this morning I was with one, and now this afternoon I'm going to the other one.
Right.
And it's just perfect synergy when that happens. Now I have to figure out
What's the
how to
Yiddish word
take
for a
that.
matchmaker again?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not Jewish.
Yeah, I know. But
I
you're
should look it
Italian.
up.
That's close
But I'm
enough.
Long Island, so it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll have to find out what that word
Not a
is.
yenta.
Yenta? Is it a yenta? Carly, jump on in.
Yeah.
Get close to
Okay,
that
yenta.
microphone. We're going to make Carly be
but
on the air
yenta-
today.
No, there's a different word for matchmaker. Yenta is more like the...
Carly has a computer, so let's let Carly look up what the matchmaker word is in Hebrew or Yiddish.
Yiddish.
Or Yiddish. Okay, so that's my purpose. What do you
All right,
think?
Cool. All right.
That's my purpose.
All right.
I love my purpose. And it's very
Matchmake
simple
me.
because as many of you who've listened before know, I am an actor and a producer as well. And I came into the part of the business that's social media through everything else that I had done. And, we have journeys in life and we do different things. I've had an extensive journey, and maybe next time we're on, I'll tell a little bit more about it. But
Sure.
I'm not regretful of anything because it's making me understand what I think I should be doing. And I'm starting it, and it's partially what I'm
should be
doing right now.
It's what you're drawn
Maybe
to
the
do.
word should is not good, huh?
Yeah, we don't like the word should.
We don't like should. Shoulda,
No.
coulda, woulda. So anyway, that being said, right now I'm going to connect you with someone you already know. So we're going to bring on Adam because Adam
Weinberg.
I'm connected to Adam because of you.
That's right.
So welcome to the show, 21st Century Entrepreneur Radio. Adam,
Good afternoon.
how are you?
Best I've ever been.
Excellent.
This is the greatest moment of my life. Thank you for sharing it with
Oh
me.
my goodness gracious, that's awesome. This is the greatest moment of your life. That makes me happy. So Adam and I know each other through Sam, and he was at our meeting this week about the radio station. And Adam, I hope that what we talked about helped. So let's hear Adam's.
One thing also you should know,
What?
Very significant, that I met Adam through the same person who introduced me to Giorgio.
The radio owner.
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting.
Alex Galvez. Big shout out to Alex Galvez.
That's so cool.
Who is a personal trainer extraordinaire, has a business by the name of Fit Focus. And he is...
Love it.
He's the only person I know who probably knows more people in New York City than you do, Joni.
Really?
Believe it or not. Yeah, this guy's...
Maybe we
right,
could
Adam?
get together because
Doesn't-
we know different people,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And bring
true.
each
You know
other,
different people.
those people that we don't
the best.
know. We'll have a party.
Yeah.
So, Adam, give us your little, we talked about it the other day, your elevator talk or your commercial so we get to know who you are and how you came here.
Sure. Well, I'm very happy and very passionate when I'm helping people to make their dreams come true.
Okay.
And so I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. And I've worked directly with business owners for most of my adult professional life. And so I have this tremendous, fortunate experience of working directly with people who are decision makers that have the types of experiences to know when and what to do regarding building a business and how to market it effectively, what works and what doesn't, whether it be print, web, video, live events, or otherwise.
Right, but
And
your
so
particular specialty, Adam, I mean,
The
you're
name of my
known
business
as...
is Web Guy X LLC, which stands for Web Guy Extraordinaire.
Excellent.
Right.
And I take it sort of as almost as a performance. Every time I'm with somebody, I try to make it as fun and as exhilarating as it would be to be live on stage.
Right, Adam, but you're really your genius, and your like superpower is your sort of intuitive understanding and ability to comprehend sort of technical stuff and really help in the whole online world of the World Wide Web, and helping people, business owners and other entrepreneurs, to really implement their ideas using the latest techniques and the latest strategies in the online world. Yes?
Hello? Did we lose you?
I'm here. I'm here.
Well, is what I said apropos, accurate?
I'd like you to rephrase it, please.
I said that you really, because you're so, very much so on the technical side, and you have that in sort of intuitive understanding of technology, that you're able to help entrepreneurs through the implementation of technology to help them to achieve the goals they're looking for.
Sure. Well, that's actually, in working with these business owners such as yourself, I became a problem solver. I became a go-to person for anything that's going wrong, specifically, most of the time, digitally. And so that lends to a lot of research, and it lends to being very adaptable, very agile with how I go about finding answers and what is an acceptable answer and what is an acceptable solution to move a project forward, or to move or to overcome a particular situation or particular inconvenience for the moment. And I think that you've probably had a few experiences with me like that maybe you could refer to.
Well, I mean, just so people are clear, like my working relationship with Adam started a number of years ago because Adam basically created all of the websites that I have, which is he's created the talkingalternative.com website. We're working on a brand new one. He created the Double Diamond Wellness website, which we've gotten a lot of compliments on as well.
Well, and I've already seen some of the new website, and Adam, you're a genius.
Yeah, it looks really good.
And I know
thank you so much.
Adam's been doing websites almost his whole entire life, and he's not that old, but he's been doing them and getting paid almost his whole entire life. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And even
But it's not just websites, and it's not, you talk techie, but it's not just websites. It's like I think he gets the vision for a company, a person, an organization, but his ability is to translate it technically.
I'll tell you what, Adam, how about this? How about in just like the next we got about 3 minutes before going to break, or 2 minutes before going to break. Maybe very briefly, let's talk about a case study. How about my friend Lynn, who I referred to you? Maybe you can talk about what it was like.
I love Lynn. She's the best.
Yeah. So talk about maybe sort of the challenge that she had when she came to you and how you were able to help her with that challenge.
Okay. Well, Lynn is among many amazing talents and many different directions I could go to talk about how great Lynn is. She is the creator of a turn-based playing card game called Fun Food Flip, and it's a family-style competitive card game, much in the line of kind of like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, but without all of the extra rules and stuff that gets in the way of just having a good time. And that's what she's all about, is connecting with play, connecting with yourself. And so when she came to me, she didn't have a website. She didn't have a customer base. And in fact, the game hadn't even been produced yet. So I was with her almost from the beginning in putting this together. And so one of the main challenges that we came up against was how to go about finding a niche for this to fall into, and how to go about discovering where people would discover her. And so we took a look at a bunch of different processes for rapidly going through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Meetup.com and putting together these lists of potential prospects, and then using a plugin for Gmail called Gmass, which allows you to mass email folks from a spreadsheet with automatic follow-ups. And so you may have had an experience where even you get an email even from somebody you really care about and something that's very important, and then you say, oh, I'll get back to this later. And
and
then
later
you forget
never
all about
comes.
it.
When you forget.
So those automatic follow-ups are just fantastic for in 2 days, if no reply, hey, checking in.
That's a
in
great
5
concept.
Days, if no reply, hey, where are you?
I'm going to have you help me with that, because I am the queen of bad follow-up. I have changed that. That was 2016, and 2017 has already started out better. I am a step ahead of everything. So I'm going to have you consult me separately with that, Adam.
Oh, I'd love to.
Awesome. We're about to go to break, and I don't want anyone to not be able to get in touch with you. So, Adam, how do people find you?
Oh, just type in hashtag Web Guy X on Google, and it'll bring up everything that I've done.
Okay. Hashtag Web Guy X on Google, and we are going to tweet you. So what's your Twitter handle?
Adam J. Weinberg.
Great. We are going to tweet you, and we're going to put that out.
Weinberg.
And Adam has an announcement to make.
Yes, Adam, actually, before we go to break, actually, no, I'm going to make it hold. You guys have to come back and listen. So, Adam, don't go anywhere. And everyone else, don't go anywhere.
right here.
Back after this.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Are you into comics, movies, and pop culture at large? What about music and TV? Then you're in for a treat. This is Michael Dolce, your host on TalkingAlternative.com. I've been professionally writing comic books, screenplays, and music articles for almost 15 years. Catch my show, Secrets of the Sire, at its new primetime slot, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and get the inside scoop on the pop culture universe you love to talk about. For more info, go to secretsofthesire.com.
TalkingAlternative.com.
And we are back. Happy Friday. It is the first Friday of 2017. I'm so grateful that we are in 2017. Not that 2016 was an awfully horrendous year, but it wasn't a great year for me personally. How about you?
It was a year of building and transition.
Yeah. Okay, me too, yeah.
Yeah.
Building and
it was
transition and getting
actually-
through things.
It was actually a very good year for me in certain ways, but not like from the external point of view, you wouldn't have seen much change, but it was
Right.
a lot of internal change.
I started 2016 doing a silent retreat, if you remember
Yes,
correctly.
I remember.
And it went downhill from there.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it
Because
wasn't.
JC just constantly teased you about the silent retreat
all the
ever
time.
since then.
But I have to say, if I hadn't gone through 2016, I wouldn't probably be sitting here.
Exactly.
Because I went through a lot of transformation,
Yes.
like major transformation.
Yes, a lot of people did.
I think a lot of people also don't ever go through transformation, which is interesting. I know our person on the other line, Mr. Adam J. Weinberg, has also gone through transformation. And so because of that, we wanted him on here today because he's going to be an amazing partner with me, with you, with the station. So Adam, I want people to be able to reach out to you directly. How do they get in touch with you?
I have a website, webguyx.com, and my email address is adam@webguyx.com.
Fabulous. And you are not only doing the website and a lot of other things for this radio station, but you have a huge announcement that we're going to talk about for the very first time. So why don't you make that announcement?
Oh, thank you. Well, I will be joining the Talking Alternative, talkradio.nyc family with my new show beginning on Wednesday next week, Wednesday the 11th?
11th.
Wednesday the 11th.
111.
Well, it's a good time to start.
Yes.
Excellent. And what's your show going to be called? So you're going to be one of the newest hosts at Talking Alternative.
The newest host.
The newest host, yes. And what is your show going to be called? Do we know yet,
So
or are we still working that out?
I'll give you the name of the show and the tagline.
Excellent.
So the name of my show will be called Is It Plugged In?
Mm-hmm.
The tagline will be Troubleshoot Haiku. Don't say it's user error. Get supervisor.
Love it. Well, I promise I will call in so that I can actually ask you a question. So thank you so much for taking time out of your Friday to be with us today on the radio station and on 21st Century Entrepreneur Radio. I look forward to growing with you here, and you and I definitely have to have lunch, coffee, whatever, drinks, whatever it is.
Can't wait. Maybe
Excellent.
next Tuesday.
Excellent. All right, Adam. Thank you so much.
All right, Adam. Take care now.
Bye, Sam. Bye, Joan.
And it's back to you and me, Sam. You and me and Carly. Carly, jump on there and say hi to us. And tell us a little bit, give us a real quickie 1 minute of what your experience has been today. Off the top of your head, seriously, jump right on in.
All right. Hi. Basically, I thought it was really interesting. I was here for both this show and the show previous, and both were very informative.
And you're awesome. And you go to Boston and you are majoring in film and TV.
Yes.
And you also, I heard from your dad, Mark Chapman, just got, tell us what it is, longest running something up in Boston, and you're going to be doing something.
Yeah, I was chosen as one of the writers of Bay State, which is one of the longest running, well, it is the longest running college television show.
Excellent. So it's like, is it kind of like a soap opera?
Yeah, it's kind of like a soap opera.
Awesome. Well, I have news for you. So I told you yesterday that I was going to call my very good friend Scott Sickles, who writes for a major soap opera. And he texted me this morning and cannot wait to meet you.
That's awesome.
Next week.
I'm so excited.
So, and he's an amazing writer. He writes plays, he writes for TV. So I can't wait for you to meet him next week. He's very excited to meet you.
Thank you so much.
I am so excited. I'm thrilled to death that you're my intern for the next week or two. I'm not going to let you go away. So thank you, Carly, for being here with us today. And
if you
we're going to give a
maybe
shout
we'll
out.
find things for you to do for us remotely.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that idea. And don't make any plans for next summer because you're here with us. She'll manage the radio station with you. Why not?
Okay.
Right? Never know. Maybe she'll get her own show too. All right. Well, thank you so much, Carly. And thank you to your dad, Mark Chapman. And thank you to Gary Cohen for listening to us today. This has been the first time I'm doing it by myself in 2017
Not
on
completely
21st.
by yourself.
Not completely by myself. I thank you for being with me, Sam.
Of course.
I actually asked Sam a number of times when JC wasn't, well, JC only wasn't with me like twice or three times.
Yeah.
I asked you to be on and you were doing too much, but this time we planned it.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun having you with me.
Thank you. Thank you. There was
Did I
one
still
time-
talk too much the whole way?
No,
It's my
that's
show,
you're
though. I
supposed
can.
to.
I know.
This is
It's my
radio.
show.
You're supposed to.
We don't want dead air.
I think there was one time I had to start because neither you nor JC were here on time.
And I'll maybe call in and surprise you I'm going to definitely do a cab driver one. I love talking to cab drivers. I'm going to do that.
But
I'm
let's
gonna do it
plan
from
that
the
one
cab.
out then,
Okay.
so it's not a surprise.
And Gary Cohen made me promise that I would interview a hot dog vendor. But the
hot
only
dog
problem is
vendor.
the hot dog vendors are pretty busy at noon on a Friday, so I have to
Yeah.
go to them. So we'll have to do that remote too.
Right, that'll be
all
a remote.
right.
Well, you can always do a remote record and then give me the file, and then we could play that
True,
segment
but
during
it's
the show.
way more fun to do it
When it's
live because you
live, yeah.
never know what's going to happen. Remember last
true.
time I had a guy wrapped up in a Christmas tree,
Right.
which was funny. So I think we're pretty much at the end of our show. And I wanted to actually turn
so
it
why
back
don't
to
you
you to
tell-
tell people about the station a little bit more and how they could get involved if they wanted to.
Of course. Well, we're, a New York-based radio station. That's why we have talkradio.nyc. We're a New York-based online radio station. And it's really what I've learned over the 6.5 years of running the station is it's having your own online radio show is an amazing tool that you can use in a million different ways to support your business, to support your dreams, your venture, your passions. I've people who've done shows, not to support their business, but to support their part-time passion. And Mike Dolce in Secrets of the Sire is a great example of this because Michael, he's a technology guy. He does SEO and websites and everything else like Adam does during the daytime, but he's been a comic book artist and writer for 15 years.
And it's funny, I never knew that until he started doing the show. I knew him as a web guy.
Right.
I never knew this whole other side.
Because we both knew him through BizGrow
But
Partners,
that's a
which
real,
was,
that's a
JC's
really
networking.
good thing to stop and think about. Talk to people not about what they're doing, but about their interests, and you'll find out a lot more.
Right. When you find out what people are passionate about, it makes it so much more interesting. Like I had a guy come who I know from a networking group who came here yesterday, and we had a great meeting.
Who? Name him.
Michael Oberthur, who...
I don't know him.
You don't know him. Well,
Somebody
you
I
gotta
don't
come,
know.
You have to come to Bryant Park Connections.
I
to my
was
networking
never
group.
invited.
How about Tuesday?
Oh, my God.
How about Tuesday at 8:30 a.m.?
This Tuesday.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh, well.
Well, you know why I can't? Because my client, Arthur Idala, has a huge fundraiser on Monday night in Brooklyn
This is
at the Liberty
8:30 a.m.
Warehouse. But I am not going to be wanting to go. It's going to be a long
All right,
day Monday.
next time. I'll let you
But
know. We meet twice
please
a
let
month.
me know next time.
We meet twice a month.
I do
but-
have to do a shout out, though, because I'm
Okay.
getting tweeted. Guess who's
Ooh.
tweeting me? Who
Who's
tweets
tweeting
me
you?
all the time when I'm on the radio?
I don't know. Who tweets you all the time?
I used to live with him.
Who?
My father.
Oh, Al.
Shout out to Al Pelzer.
Big shout out to
His
Al
Twitter
Pelzer.
handle is Albert Pelzer, and he's pretty much the one that tweets me all the time. He tweets everything I tweet.
I have to say you are the only woman I know who has a social media relationship with her dad.
I know. Isn't
That's
that great?
great.
Actually, I should do a survey. We should do a survey on Twitter and find out if anyone else has a social media relationship with their family.
Yeah.
So guess what else? My
What?
dad is on Instagram, but he doesn't really post anything, but he likes things. And he put my mom on Instagram. Actually, my niece Ava put my mom. So my mom is now on Instagram. Of course, she hasn't posted anything either.
Right.
So, but I love that my parents
get
are
them in there.
supporting me. Thank you, Pelzer family, for supporting my entrepreneurial endeavors. And I'm just so excited. I have one announcement to make. The show that I was working on, do you remember the musical I was working on that got canceled on the rails?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be boarding that train again.
All right.
And it's likely going to go up in New York City on February 20th. And I can make this
Wonderful.
announcement because it is official. We're not sure if the name of the show is going to change or not. But now I was supposed to have them all on as guests, and then we canceled the whole show.
Yeah.
But now we will. Tony
Okay.
Sportiello and Albert M. Tapper. And it's going to be directed by Warren S. Friedman. And assistant directed by Kelly McGuire. So we will have them all on. And I thank you all for being our listeners today on 21st Century Entrepreneur Radio, first show of 2017.
Yes.
And Sam Leibowitz, owner and extraordinary producer, engineer of Talking Alternative Broadcasting. Thank you for being with
And
me.
everybody should stay tuned because coming up next, we actually have Tony Martignetti
I know,
live
3 in a row.
studio. So
3 in a
it's
row. And
full
Tony,
day
you
today.
do not want to miss Tony Martignetti's show. It's all about nonprofits.
And
so
he makes it a lot of fun, too.
He does. He really does. So thank you all for listening. Please don't go anywhere. Stay put, listen live, and join me again next Friday at noon. Have a great weekend.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Hello, I'm JC.
I'm Joan, and welcome to 21st Century Entrepreneur.
We bring education,
Insight,
knowledge,
awareness,
trouble
craziness, and fun.
for you, the entrepreneur who's looking to build your business.
And your community. Listen every Friday from noon to 1 Eastern on talkradio.nyc. And you can tweet us at 21st CE Radio or Talk Alternative.
Hey, all you crazy listeners. Looking to boost your business? Why not advertise on Talking Alternative with very reasonable rates? Interested? Simply email at info@talkingalternative.com.
Are you into comics, movies, and pop culture at large? What about music and TV? Then you're in for a treat. This is Michael Dolce, your host on TalkingAlternative.com. I've been professionally writing comic books, screenplays, and music articles for almost 15 years. Catch my show, Secrets of the Sire, at its new primetime slot, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and get the inside scoop on the pop culture universe you love to talk about. For more info, go to secretsofthesire.com.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network at www.talkingalternative.com. Now, broadcasting 24 hours a day. Talking Alternative.
Hi, this is Rob Kay.
And I'm Callie Alpert.
And we're hosts of the Rob and Callie Show. Are you looking for a show that talks about real stuff like life, love, the pursuit of being yourself?
Then you have come to the right place, because we cover topics ranging from chivalry to gratitude to your relationship with money and everything in between.
So listen to us on the Rob and Callie Show, Tuesdays, 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.